Yeah, I like one of the key things Angel said was listening, because I think that's key to a lot, especially when you're collaborating with people. And it's usually I may have written the script, but it's my job to convey that, and then listen to what people listen to me, and then they report back with what they feel about, the screenplay and stuff, and then we listen to each other and we talk and we concoct and we collaborate, and then that's how you come to something organic together. And it's not just do what I ask you to do. There's no passion in that. There's passion in that when everybody sees the same thing and everybody feels the same thing, and then we all chase the same rabbit. Yeah. And to me, that's a big plus. And
he believed in me from the first time. And I'm like, I never taken no classes before, right? Nah, I know you could do it. I'm like, okay. The first time, I think the first audition, the audition we had, or the one was reading the script or whatever.
He scared the hell out of me.
He was like, I think you need to go take some classes, man, because
I'm building set walls. I'm building walls by hand on the side. I'm doing all of this. We take a chance. We get the actors. We do a reading, and Angel's reading like, I don't know. And I was just like, sweat start pouring. I was just like, yo. At the end, everybody leave. I'm like, you gonna read it like that? And he's like, no, don't worry, we got it. And I'm just like, okay, now you're making me nervous. But I stuck with him, and he was completely fooling around. And then came on the first, for action on the weight, and he was just nailing it. And I was just like, yeah, there we go.
Because I'm like, where are we going? What are we?
And I'm looking at So, yeah, he had fun with me on that one.
But we made it work, though.
What about advice for just a working relationship? I mean, you guys were friends before. I know you worked together, so you still had that structure, but sometimes people fall apart, especially in LA. It's not easy to keep friendships going in this town.
Respect. I think that was the number one thing we both had for each other. Before when Angel and I met, we didn't really talk. I knew him for about a year, and we didn't really talk to each other, but we knew about each other. And it was just because of the environment and the situation that we were in. It was because the only time we actually spoke is when we were fighting. So it was like, yeah, you're dealing with a situation, and then he would go to his side of the club, and I would go to my side of the club, and we really didn't speak for like the first year, and then it was. But I felt like I knew who he was, though. So when we had that one time driving in the car, and he happened to tell me that, and it was just like, And I'm having the moments of, should I be in the short myself? But at the same time, I kind of felt as a director that was not wise, because how can you direct your first short and be in it and make sure it's going to have the look that you want if you're not looking at it? You're too immersed in it. You're involved in it. You can't be that involved in it. So when meeting Angel and riding in the car with him, and he posed that, they need a project from me to see if I can act and things like that. I kind of already had a gist for who he was as a person, and the one thing I held on to, I didn't know anything if he could act, but the one thing I could hold on to was I knew he could perform when the moment came. It's like some people have like a light switch, and some people could walk around and they could be the most unassuming person ever, but then when they're like, oh, it's time, go, they could turn on a light switch, and now they're the most animated, they're on it, they got so much energy, and it's just like, Angel's one of those, and very low key, but I remember he's a fighter, and I held on to that. That was the one thing that really, gelled us from the beginning, was because I fought in the ring before, he's fought in the ring before, and in those moments, you deal with all of the same things: the nervousness, the people watching you, you're on camera, all of those same, things that could, make a person shrink. But he hasn't. He's performed in those moments. And anytime I was nervous on the choice, my wife would say, it's just like, how do you know he's a new actor? How do you know he's going to be there? You're putting so much energy into this, and you don't know. And I said, that's why. And I will always hang the fact on, if I could do it in those moments, and in the ring, and hold on to that, and do it, he does it professionally. So you have to have a good understanding of who you are as a person to jump into those situations, and thrive in them. And he does that, and I counted on him doing that for me in the weight, and he did. So
yeah, to me it's actually trust. Again, I never spoke to him, we didn't talk for a year or nothing, but there could be a fight going on in the club, and I run in there by myself. He could be all the way on the second floor, and by the time I grab one dude and I look to my left, he's right there grabbing another door right next to him. I'm like, well, you were just up there. How the hell you get so fast? You know, so that's how we build that relationship on that trust. So if you're gonna work with somebody, make sure you trust him and have faith and confidence.
Respect them, and we make each other keep our word.
Yeah.
You keep your word. If you say you're gonna do something, do it.
Do it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if not, there's got to be a good reason. And it better be a big letdown for you. One thing is, just as a person, especially when, you're grinding, you're in it all the time and you want to meet people who have the same level of dedication. And the only way to know that is, that person has to be willing to take, not accept the loss, but if the loss comes, it's got to be like the biggest thing in the world so that it never happens again. And I don't like losses that go by like, oh yeah, it happened, there's no big deal. No, it's like a boulder hit me because I'm going to figure out how that boulder doesn't hit me ever again. And we're going to move on and keep going. And it's just like we're both stubborn. We got both a lot of qualities, both extremely stubborn, and it works. But it's trust, it's all of those things, mutual respect, and I think that's the foundation for anything. And hopefully we can keep it going.
Yeah.